The Jackie Joyner-Kersee Foundation hosted an International Women's Day Luncheon that featured a panel discussion to encourage young women in sports around the world.
Today we celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day. School District 189, East St. Louis, got all their sports team coming over, and we're going to have a conversation around empowering girls, winning in life, and allow them to ask questions, and just really how can we embrace one another as young ladies, but then also allow them to flourish and become the best human beings that they can become. Yes, we start with the middle school girls, and we have the middle school girls, Mason Clark, East St. Louis Lincoln, and then also the high school, East Side, and then as well as some young ladies coming over from Harris Stowe, I believe Greenville and Washington University. So it's really empowering young girls. You know, this it's a yearly event most of the time. I'm usually traveling out of town where people have me doing their Girls in Sports Day. So I say, why not do our own Girls in Sports Day? Because it's a national celebration. And then also the whole theme is around how to use sport for good and encouraging young ladies to find something that they love doing on the field, off the field, but then also teaching them about giving back.
Today is about each and every one of you. About some of my friends here. We're going to talk about how to use sport for good. What it really means when you talk about work ethic, working hard, setting goals. And all of them have traveled a different path. But what we all have in common is athletics. We all, once upon a time, was a student athlete. But they all now have their different professions. And we hope that we can inspire you to be the best that you can become. You have to think it, you have to dream it, and you have to make it happen. Your coaches, your parents, your teachers, they are there to support you. But in order to make a dream become a reality, you got to put in the work. You got to convince them that you really want to do what you say you want to become.
Guest speakers featured Dorriane Johnson, athletic director at Harris Stowe State University, with over 14 years of NCAA Division I coaching experience. Dr. Carla Longley is a doctor primarily located in East St. Louis, Illinois, with specialties in general dentistry. Latrice Sales is the director at Jackie Joyner-Kersee Foundation, Winning in Life programs. Dawn Harper-Nelson, an Olympian and American track and field athlete who specializes in the 100-meter hurdles. Khalia Collier, the owner and general manager of St. Louis's own women's professional basketball team, the St. Louis Surge.
One of the question I have for the panel here is, what do you do when you think that you have hit rock bottom? Your mind is, I want to give up. Everyone around me talking about me, and how do you find, or how do you dig deep to continue to work towards that dream, that goal, without giving up? Where is that place that you go to find that inner strength? Because our young ladies out here, we are angry. And it hurts me that as young women, we're angry. And I don't want any of you to give up on yourselves. But how can we help you to dig deep through our own journeys of dealing with, should I give up? So I'm going to open up Khalia, go ahead.
It's trusting that the light's at the end of the tunnel even when you don't see it.
Say that again.
It's trusting that the light is at the end of the tunnel even when you don't see it. These are pep talks that I give myself daily. You know, when you hit an obstacle, you hit a roadblock, and you have a really, 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 really good day, and then somehow you manage to have a really, really, really bad moment in the same day, and you have to figure out a way to pick yourself up. And as important as it is for you to have a team around you, which is your parents, your teachers, you know, your girls that you know that you can call no matter what, that's your ride or dies, you have to have that in yourself too. You have to have a moment that you can take and say, pull it together. You can do it. Like, encouraging yourself is, I think, 100% of the battle, more than it is your coaches or your parents coaching you and pushing you to another degree. It's easy to quit. The only people that don't make it are the ones that quit. It's just that simple. So you have to find it in yourself to keep that fire burning, even when you feel like it's dying out.
I always think about that other people did it. They went through what I went through. You're never the only one that's going through something. You would be surprised, you're middle school and high school, but some of the same struggles you have, college girls have. It's the same struggle. I think about what my mother went through to help me get to where I can't quit. How many of y'all are the oldest of your siblings? You can't quit because they're watching you. So for me, I was the oldest of 4. I had 3 sisters coming behind me, and it would get tough. There were times the lights was off. I'm going to be honest. The time the lights was off, time there wasn't enough food. But I had to get it done. I had to go to college for free because my mother could not afford to help me. So those days when we were on the track, and let me tell you, I was nowhere near as fast as, wasn't even in the vicinity of being that fast. But I had to run track because in my high school, you had to run track to play basketball. Any of y'all ever go through that? Oh, y'all special.
Right?
Y'all. And so one of those days that I was like, I play basketball. Why you got me running track? Well, it was to make me better. And there were some days I wanted to quit, but I couldn't because I had 3 sisters coming behind me. So that's what I looked. I looked at what I needed to do to help my family get ahead so I couldn't quit.
For me, when I wanted to give up, let me take that back. I never wanted to give up. But when I would had to face a crossroad, I had to lean on my faith in Christ. And I've always been in the church. I grew up in the church, but I got to know Jesus Christ for myself. When I started my practice, when I expanded my practice, and I had 2 small children. And unfortunately, I could not find another female dentist who would be honest enough to tell me, how do you balance? How do you balance raising 2 kids? And I had a staff, a large staff that was depending on me to perform, to feed all these households. And I wanted to be the type of mother that my mother was. And my grandmother, where we were involved with our children. My mother had 3 athletes that she managed to get to their practices and teach school somehow. So I had to be at least that mother. And I wanted to be that mother. I did not want my kids to be the only kid of color stand on a stage to say a 5-minute poem. And so I would take off. And I love East St. Louis. I love practicing here because my patients, they were very understanding when I had to change my schedule because we didn't get, notices in advance. But I stayed on that. I leaned on his word. And so I'm glad we're having this conversation because people won't be honest. And as black women, for some reason, we don't like to tell our story, the true story. We like to sugarcoat it. We like to make it seem like everything is fine. When I was in school, especially dental school, it was hard. It was tough. It was new for me. That was the first time that my personality, Jackie's laughing. I know Mr. Fenoy's laughing. when my personality determined if I was going to graduate or not. That was a big adjustment for me. I had attitude, I had the neck, and I knew how to do it well. If I didn't say it, I was looking it. But dental school is subjective. So I had to play it right. I had to make my adjustment. Turning your face up is not going to help you. Because there will come a time when you will need the person that you just got smart with. Okay, and gave attitude. My mother used to always tell me that. But you know, I was able to take a test, and it was objective. But there will come a time when your personality will determine how far you'll go in life. And it's okay to change. That's the thing that you need to understand. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to improve, and it's fashionable.
Okay, I want to talk about this two-word, self-respect. And also about respect. As I said before, sometimes I'm no longer that young girl, we're angry. And why it's so hard for us to respect ourselves. And when someone's speaking to you, you get so defensive. You can't even hear what they're saying. That the teacher, they don't know anything, so you think you can talk to them any kind of way. And how I believe all of you are leaders. But respect starts with you first. Self-respect. So I'm going to talk to the panel and want the panel to talk to you, because we are living in different times. Don talking about training for 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. I did 4 Olympic Games before all of you were even born, probably 84, 88, 92, 96. I ain't have no cell phone. I couldn't do any selfies. I had to have a billboard big enough in 88 Olympics, and so Korea to put I love East St. Louis so they can capture that on international TV. I couldn't do a selfie and send it back. But anyway, let's talk about this self-respect and respect for others and respect for authority. Ladies.
So the first thing that popped in my head was how judgmental we all can be, right? I think about how you look at a girl having a conversation with somebody, and you're like, oh, why she talking like that? But then when you get mad, you're like, girl, but you don't want nobody to judge you and the things you said and the curse words that just came out your mouth, or the attitude you just got with the coach, or the girl with her boyfriend, she talking to, don't she got a boyfriend? She over there talking to him? But then you could do the same thing, and you want to look at her and be like, why would Doctor? She said she had an attitude. She was rolling her neck. That's crazy. Did you not just roll your neck too? But it's amazing how we can look at someone else's situation, but somehow forget all the things that we've done, all the things that why you got on punishment, why your grades not the way they should be. Well, I know if I wanted to do my work, I could, but she just dumb. Right? You listen, I've been around it, I've done it, where you could look at somebody else and be like, why she doing way too much. And I'm like, I did just do that yesterday. It's about having respect for other people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what's going, listen, I was trying to have a conversation with a group of girls before, And I remember immediately in my head, I want to tell, she had the worst attitude. I want to tell, it's just not that bad. And the girls were like, it is. I'm like, what? It just can't. And they were like, no, her home life is really, her mother, it's really bad. Not just in East St. Louis, all over. There are some households, mothers should be there and they're not. Fathers should be there and they're not. On drugs, missing, come in and out the house. Some of you may have that same lifestyle, but you wonder when the girls come to school, you wonder, why she always got an attitude every morning? You don't know what she went through, right? Some of you have a personality, and it's a blessing when you can brush it off and see the brighter day. You can see, you know what, I'm at school, I'm gonna have a good day. Help somebody, right? Be that brighter day for someone that can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. Be that light at the end of the tunnel. When you look at yourself in the mirror, self-respect, you know what? I did the best I could today. I know, okay, like how she said, it's never too late to change. I know I kind of had attitude with that conversation. I'm gonna do better this one. I'm doing way, right? There's been times where I've seen it, where somebody say something, girl, my bad. Because especially if you're trying to change, it's gonna be moments where you're doing way too much. Check yourself. It's okay. You know what's okay to do? Apologize. I have definitely snapped before. And like, it was not you, my bad. I'm going through some other stuff, right? It's okay to apologize, because think about it. Y'all two get in an argument, both of y'all walking away, and you know you didn't mean it. You were just mad at the moment. I ain't gonna think about she just a terrible person. I didn't really mean it though. Have respect for each other, because you don't know how you could change someone else's life, right? Having respect for someone else, and the fact that point blank, they're just a human being. Point blank, they're another black young lady. You don't need to know what's going on. Respect for someone else. It can change your life and theirs, right?
Thank you, Don. Don is like speaking to my heart right now, because we're talking about, I live life by the golden rule. How many of y'all know what the golden rule is? Come on, who can tell me what the golden rule is? Say it a little louder for me. Treat others how you want to be treated. It's as simple as it gets, right? The golden rule is you treat others how you want to be treated. Someone asked me yesterday, they said, Khalia, why are you always so positive? How did you learn to always be so positive? I have a lot of days that I can definitely choose a different path. I can be real negative when something as bad, I've lost a sponsor, I'm trying to land a deal. You know, I'm responsible for so many other people besides myself. But I have to find a way to be positive, and I'm big on transfer of energy, right? No one deserves your negative energy coming their way, and you don't deserve theirs either. We all have options. We all have choices. And I believe in the whole pursuit of being the best version of yourself. We grow, we evolve, we change every day, and we're supposed to. That's life. But you want to figure out how to be the best version of yourself and be better than you were today than you were yesterday. But it's quite simple, ladies. It's a choice to whether you decide you want to project positive energy and how you want to treat other people, even when you're going through the works. When you're going through the works, and I know it's easier said than done. It's always easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a choice, and that's a choice some of you all are thinking about right now. As we look through and we pan through the crowd, don't think no one noticed whether you make eye contact, whether your head is down, how you're just sitting up, and whether you're attentive to the words that are coming your way. That's a choice, ladies. You can either take this and run with it today, or you can say, nah, they're out there talking trash. I don't care. It doesn't pertain to me. I don't want to be great. Who wants to be great? Who wants to be great? That's a choice. It's a choice. The hand in the back. See, that's, Jackie, now I'm going to have to give everybody surge tickets. It's just, that's what's going to happen today.
All right, okay. Love it.
So
Don,
I thought of something else about respect, because I'm like, oh, wait, it's a lot of young ladies. Self-respect when it comes to the you-know-what boys. Huh? Oh, you ain't got to worry about that? She said, I ain't got to worry about that. So you never going to date a guy. You ain't never going to think somebody cute. You ain't never going to. No, I'm talking to all y'all, so miss me. Look, I go there too. No, so you know what I'm talking about, where right now, some of y'all either I'm in a good relationship, it's going great. Some of you are like, I just broke up, I ain't even, girl, please, boys ain't even on my radar, I ain't, right? But self-respect in that moment when you find that one guy that you really like, you think he liking you, and all of a sudden you questioning, should I be going that far? Should I be doing that much? Because I like him and I want him to keep liking me. Is that too much? Well, he want to make a love video, but is that too much? He said he's not going to share it with nobody. He said he not. He's different. He's different than he's different.
He is not different.
Right? Because, Right, he is not, she said he is not different. Listen, self-respect. The cell phone, social media is dangerous. I don't care what you say, it can come back and bite you in the butt. You can never delete it quick enough on Instagram. You can never delete Snapchat. You can never. It's only up for 24 hours. Girl, you know how many screenshots I've seen people take? They're like, oh, that's all it takes. Right. All of you have screenshot of something that you thought was so entertaining. And now you have it in your phone. Do you think someone else may not do the same to you? Self-respect. Do not put yourself out there. You can't take those things back. You can change, you can be a better person, but you don't know if it will come back to bite you in the butt. And when I say this, I cannot guarantee you, but I believe 99.999% of y'all, whoever y'all with or y'all like, you're not gonna be with. Right? I'm just trying to say. So I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. There's that 0.01%, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna defy all the odds. But until that moment, respect yourselves and understand you have to set standards for yourself. When you look yourself in the mirror, was I who I say I am? Did I respect myself? Did I not let him push me too far because only thing is you think he cute? Respect yourself.
Yeah, I like to talk about why respecting authority is so important. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. You never know who you are going to need. And today, more so than when I was your age, there's something that's called recommendation.
Tell them what that means.
What this means is that as you move along your educational and your athletic journey, then you will need what's called either a written letter of recommendation. When I was your age, it was a phone call. Coaches on the next level are going to call your coach and ask about you. And I'm the daughter of a coach, former high school coach. And they would call. And the conversation may go like this. She's a great athlete. She's very talented, but she has the worst attitude ever. She's uncoachable. And you know what uncoachable means? I want one of you all to tell me, what does uncoachable mean?
Oh, here you go. Come on.
No?
When you get an attitude every time your coach try to tell you when you're wrong.
All right. You get attitude. And for you basketball players, if you have the plays and everybody is doing their own thing. And I've seen it over the years, and we have a couple of basketball players, and they can tell you. And guess what? The coach will say, we won't be able to use you. Okay, so there your career is right there until you make a change, because they don't have to deal with your attitude. They don't have to deal with the disrespect. They have other players that may not be as athletic as you, but they may work harder than you. They may be hungrier than you, and they will develop into that athlete. And some coaches would rather lose to make a point.
You got that right.
Let me comment on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this, especially student athletes. That is a pet peeve of mine. I tell my coaches, especially coming into a department where you have to make changes and you're a female, every single university I went to that I had to be the athletic director, I was hired to be the athletic director, I had to be a disciplinarian. Because God knows I'm not going to sit and watch foolishness for very long. I can't get it out overnight, but everywhere I go, I have to transition it. Because in my heart, I want to develop champions for life. And if you're not willing to be developed into a champion on the court, in the classroom, in the community, and as a productive citizen, then that's not a good fit for my department. So I tell my coaches, and a lot of my coaches are part-time, but I tell my coaches, if they're not getting it done, we're going to give you, I'll give you 1-2 chances, but after that, I'm done counseling. I'm really done. I want them out. Because we can go and find some, and on our level, we're not able to offer full scholarships. And on our level, it's not even a binding contract. In the NCAA, you can only have a scholarship for 1 year. They can let you go after 1 year, then you're trying to find another institution to go to. And I think the biggest thing, too, we have to learn is nobody has to have you. And I hope this doesn't hit you the wrong way. I probably shouldn't, that's probably a ghetto way to say
Speak
that,
the
but
truth.
okay.
You got
but,
it. They
but they
understand.
don't have to have you. They really don't. There's so many girls out here. Like when I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of talent, but now there's so much talent everywhere. But again, as I'm in charge of coaches right now. And one of the things I've had to do, if they're not getting it done, we're transitioning them out. No money, more money, no money. I'm transitioning you out. Because I know what I want to see and I know where I want to go. So be very, very mindful of how you respect authority. Let me tell you something I learned as a kid a long time ago. I may not like the person, but I have to respect the position.
Yeah, yes.
I'm going to say that again because I want you to hear this, and I learned this from my pastor. He taught us at a young age, I may not like the person, but I have to respect the position. They're in charge, so I got to respect them. Thank you.
Yeah. I promise I'm just going to say one more thing that I forgot. There's another term that you all need to be aware of, and it's called code of conduct. All schools on all levels have what's called a code of conduct. If you need to be very familiar with what the code of conduct says, because if you violate that, you can be dismissed from the school, the institution, on any level. And when I graduated from dental school, there is a clause that says, if we did anything as a doctor, I got my degree, I have my license, if we did anything to bring shame on the institution, they could revoke my degree. Within 6 months. So how you behave, I mean, I like to I got attitude. I like to, I go to Walmart, I want to go and get mad at somebody, but everybody got cell phone cameras today. I mean, I cannot be out there acting crazy like I want to. So you have, we live in different times. So how you behave and how you treat people is important.
And before Latrice, District 189, the school district that each and every one of you attend one of those schools, there is a code of conduct. There are rules. You can be the best shooter, jumper, thrower, pom-pom, whatever. There is a code of ethics, how you should conduct yourself, because you all represent the district. And if those of you that have traveled, they will always say, oh, they from East St. Louis. Oh, we're going to let them stay in our hotel. And then once you stay in those hotels and them other schools come, they say the best student athletes are the young people from East St. Louis. So just know. Latrice?
And so we've said a couple of times about, sometimes we're seen as angry, and you know what, that's true in a lot of ways, because we have a lot to be mad about. Like Solange said in a seat at the table, there are some things where, you know, I spoke at a conference last month, and it was about black women in athletics. And, you know, black women are disrespected. We are unprotected. People don't care about it. They already assume that we're angry. But just because they're making that assumption of you does not mean that you can respond in kind. And so you have the right to be mad, but you don't have the right to be disrespectful. You don't have the right to respond in a way that is awful, because you represent not only yourself, you represent your family, you represent your parents, you represent your community, you represent your team, because if more than one person is rude or has an attitude with a coach, then you have a college coach who's like, well, I'm not even gonna recruit from them anymore, because I've encountered too many people who have an attitude, who's uncoachable, who doesn't wanna work, so I'm not even gonna go. And so your actions affect not just you, but everyone else. It affects your teammates. It can affect your community. It can affect, you know, Jackie's doing all these things, putting these billboards up to kind of really make sure that people understand that there's greatness here in East St. Louis, but then you can go out and have an attitude and do something, go to one of these hotels and do something terrible, and then they're just like, yeah, maybe it's just Jackie, it's not anybody else. It's not a city of champions, it's just a city of one champion. So making sure that you understand that you don't just represent yourself. Like if something goes wrong, they're not just gonna say, oh, Latrice Sales did this. They're going like, no, Jackie Joyner-Kersee Foundation staff did this. And that's gonna come with you all as well. They're gonna blame it on the whole city. They're gonna blame it on your team. And so just really understanding that even though the world will disrespect you, it does not give you the right to respond in kind, and just understanding that how you respond, you represent yourself as well as everyone else. But then also, we're here to support you as well. So as the world throws different things at you, like we're here to support you. We're here to be that sounding board, to be like, hey, you know, like you just need like 30 seconds to just be mad about whatever it is. Come talk to us. Find a friend, like, you know, a trusted teammate that you can talk to, so you can let that out and then start to move on.
That's you know, is one of the things they were, everyone, great comments. And I would just add that I think it's very important that as coaches, you meet them where they are. And, you know, everybody see the successes of a little Jackie Joyner. But when I first started running track at the age of 9, I finished last in my first race. But it was something I loved doing. So I showed up every day. And during the summer when it was hot, and then I saw myself, you know, I told myself if I can improve 1/10 of a second if I was running, or 1/2 of an inch if I was jumping, that meant the work that I was doing was paying off. And my mom really didn't want me to do athletics. She wanted me to get a job, you know, in the education, but running was something that I love, and I played basketball. And I had really good coaches, you know, that Coach Fenor was my age group coach, and he's still my coach today, even though I'm not running, but still. But I do think that it's very important that for each and every one of the young ladies that are here, because they say by the time you're 9 years of age, either you have the confidence or you don't. And that's saying something. So it's left up to you that you might not be the best at this, but who to say that you can't become great in trying to become better than what you are today?